Okay, welcome to Limcube Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel comes out, which today is in 174 days, and I will talk about different topics as I play. I hope you enjoy. Today, we are going to be doing the worst, and I mean it, the worst quest in this game, which is going to be the Yunobo Escort quest, but we'll have to do it in order to enter Divine Beast Var Rudania, which is going to be the last Divine Beast on this playthrough. Unless I decide to do the DLC later, I guess I can do the 5th Divine Beast. In yesterday's video, I talked a lot about the new release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I'm not going to be talking about this again today, but I do want to link a video about the state of the game in the description. If you want to have a laugh and see probably the worst technical state a major release from Nintendo has ever been in, check out that video. I played the game for like 3 hours yesterday and probably have around 40 minutes of footage of absolutely horrendous laggy gameplay. Cameras clipping through the ground, textures having less resolution than Ocarina of Time. But yeah, I'm done flaming that game. I don't know how much I'm still gonna play it. It's a disaster. That being said, I want to talk to you and kind of narrate to you the intricacies of this upcoming side quest and explain to you why it's the worst side quest in the game. Not even casually. I mean, casually, I would argue it's also pretty bad. I don't know a lot of people that genuinely enjoyed the side quest. But why it's particularly annoying for speedruns. Obviously, you start here, Yunobo is seemingly getting attacked by these moblins. One small thing you can actually do that we do in speedruns now, I have exactly 2 Ancient Arrows, so I might be able to make this work. Oh, unless I miss this Ancient Arrow. How did I even miss that? Well, I might still be able to do it. If I... Okay, these guys are just too athletic for me, I guess. But killing them early essentially makes it so... Okay, do I do like no damage? Killing them early normally... Ah, I forgot how bomb arrows work! Great intro to this side quest, main quest I mean. The entire point of me shooting enemies from up high there was to tell you that if you kill these moblins early, you can actually skip the side quest. Yeah, not the side quest, the cutscene, I don't know what I'm talking about. The cutscene that just played after I blew myself up with the bomb arrow, so great introduction. That is not the problem though with this quest. And this part isn't either, where you talk to Yunobo to make him jump into the cannon to activate the Bridge of Eldin. The worst part is what comes afterwards, and I will explain why. There's multiple reasons it's pretty bad for speedrunning. First of all, let me explain. There's one trick in speedrunning that a lot of people use casually. Almost every... I feel like if you play Breath of the Wild to this day, you have heard of this trick. That trick being called whistle sprinting. Whistle sprinting is massive in Breath of the Wild. It allows you to essentially infinitely sprint by holding down the whistle button and then spamming the sprint button. That way you can sprint until your stamina is empty, because normal sprinting is still faster than that whistle sprinting. But as soon as your stamina is depleted, you can switch to whistle sprinting, hold down the whistle button, mash the B button. So I'm sprinting right now, my stamina is getting empty, I'm whistle sprinting now. This is what we do a lot in speedruns. It also allows you to climb up hills seamlessly, which is great. Sometimes you can skip climbing, which is very useful. But there is a problem with whistle sprinting during this escort quest. And that is that Yunobo wants to agree with you on a signal to make him either stop following you or continue following you. And the only option, even though we seemingly have an option, because he is about to ask us what we want to do, the only actual option that works though is the whistle button. So if you try to whistle sprint during this section, Yunobo would constantly stop and start moving again, and you would essentially break the progress of this quest. So we have to, first of all, resort to a different way of moving around, which is going to be throw sprinting. Maybe you have seen that one before in any % speedruns. It's an alternative version of whistle sprinting. But here it is, he's gonna ask us what should we do, what should be the signal. You could say mind powers, he won't agree to that. You could say a wink, he won't agree to that either, so you actually have to press the whistle option. And throw sprinting is basically you mash the throw button and the B button like this, and you can already see the problem with it. It's pretty inconsistent because sometimes Link actually goes into the throw aim, and that makes it so that you are not actually really progressing. Now, obviously, what makes this bad in speedruns is that this is very cycle-based. Especially in the past. Nowadays, in speedruns like 100% or all dungeons, we actually have an infinite amount of ancient arrows, which makes this quest a little bit nicer because you can just shoot all of the guardians that are flying above you. But back in the day, and in this particular showcase now, you actually sometimes have to simply just wait for these guardians or for Yunobo to catch up with you. And that's obviously kind of the opposite point of what a speedrun usually is. There is a pretty cool trick for this specific guardian here. Let me see if I still can pull it off. It's been a while. There you go. Basically using stasis on this rock to basically make sure that everything is out of the way. But also killing the guardian with the rock at the same time. Always one of my favorite strats. And then it doesn't help that to break up the pacing even more, like compare this attack on the Divine Beast to like the one on Varm Meadow that I showed a couple episodes ago, where you can literally wind bomb around, you can like snipe all of the cannons instantly. It's so much more fun. But this cutscene, even on the highest level of speedrunning, takes minutes and minutes because you have these cannon shots that constantly happen, you have to wait for Yunobo, you have to wait for guardians. In general, I was never a friend of stealth missions. In general, like any game. But this, the Yiga hideout, and the Oki Korok escort quest in Korok Forest have probably always been my least favorite parts of the video game. That being said, there is actually some strategy to this that makes this a little bit more interesting. And I will show that in a second, but first of all, while in the speedrun I wouldn't do this, in the casual run, there's actually a lot of ore deposits that you can break here, and that's very useful to make some extra money. So for the interesting part, it's basically these boxes. I don't know how... These boxes are obviously clearly placed here intentionally. So I don't know if the developers wanted people to use them as a weapon like I'm doing now. But it is an option. And it's a very powerful one. I'm assuming there must have been a reason that they're placed here. So the developers probably knew. But that's an easy way to save resources and get through this part of the game relatively quickly. You can then actually continue with this box and bring it to the next part. Right here, there's a guardian that you actually can't reach with the box, but we do want to continue on with it. Ideally, I don't want it to crush me, though. So I'm gonna place it in the middle here. It breaks these ore deposits. I'm gonna collect those rocks in a bit. But then I'm also gonna additionally block the guardian up top. Push the rock through. Pick up the ore deposits of the loot that the ore deposit spawned. And then you can also use these blocks and the power of physics to actually get rid of these moblins fairly effectively by using motion controls like this. We got another cannon. Unfortunately for us, we'll have to sit through this cutscene. But there's only one more cannon to go, but as you can see kind of in the background of the Divine Beast right now, there is quite a few of guardians in our way. Again, the metal box will come in clutch though. So we pick up the metal box again, which will, yeah, I was gonna say, which might actually spawn on top of Yunobo there. It's a little bit buggy at times, because for some reason the box doesn't get rendered in during cutscenes. And then we can just simply use it to get rid of these two guardians flying around. I'm just calling them guardians. They're actually a unique type of guardian that you don't usually see in the game. I think they're actually unique to this area, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the ones at the tower are the other flying guardians. But I think it's fair to call them guardians. They're close enough to the Skywatchers. I think if you take a picture of them, the game will tell you their name, but we don't have time for that right now. So this is one specific section where you definitely want to tell Yunobo to stop. Otherwise, he's gonna walk straight into that guy's area of effect. and it's gonna cause an alarm to start. We get rid of this. Tell Unabo to continue walking. Take this updraft. Then get rid of this. These two, I mean. These two. Guardians. And then ideally save the metal box again. Because there is some more Guardians coming up. Well, this is something that unfortunately happens quite a lot. That the box falls down. Thankfully, we have something else at our disposal. That comes in super clutch for the specific quest. And that's gonna be Urbosa's Fury, which we previously got from doing the Divine Beast Varnaboris. Very nice for taking down multiple enemies. Hopefully this wasn't too fast for Unabo and he's actually still following me. If not, we have to go back and pick him up. Oh, nice. Looks like he followed. So this was actually a pretty decent way to get through the quest. And I can't complain about this too much. And that is the final shot on Vah Rudania. And my original idea was for you to basically see the entire Divine Beast today, but I actually have a session coming up at my local gym in around 50 minutes, so I have to upload this video, make a thumbnail real quick, and then get going. So this is gonna be where today's episode ends, just a small explanation of the worst quest in Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. But maybe you share my frustration. Also, if you share my frustration about Pokemon, let me know. I will link this video in the description. It's so sad, because I think a lot of the new Pokemon have amazing designs, and I would love to really enjoy the game, but I was literally, when I was streaming yesterday, I was getting dizzy at times. I'm gonna try streaming it again today. If you want and you see this video, when you see it, I'm probably gonna be live on Twitch, on twitch.tv/limcube, streaming Pokemon, trying it a little bit more. Probably also gonna be trying it a little bit more on Saturday, just to see what it's really like. But so far, it's been quite the struggle. Anyway, hoping for the best. Maybe there's gonna be a patch that fixes the performance, because I think the game has potential, but unfortunately, it's looking worse than I expected. Tomorrow's episode should be really interesting. I'm gonna give a nice explanation of these mechanics here in the Divine Beast. That's actually something that I like explaining. The next episodes are gonna be more random topics when I'm looking around, searching shrines and Koroks, but I do want to explain this Divine Beast's speedrunning strategies. They're really cool. So if you want to, I'll be doing that tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Breath of the Wild is coming out. Tears of the Kingdom, excuse me, is coming out in 174 days. And then see you guys tomorrow.